What's up, everybody? This is Alex Christopher from the Duran, and we're doing a Skype-to-Skype video with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran, because we want to get some news out to you. We'll do a proper video of this and a proper analysis, most likely tomorrow, maybe even tonight, so we can get something to you on this breaking story. And it looks like Angela Merkel is maybe on the way out. She may be moving towards a resignation. We just had the CSU leader, Seehofer. Horst Seehofer, he's the CSU leader, which is the coalition partner of Merkel CDU. And I'm quoting, he said he can't work with this woman anymore. They've given her an ultimatum as well to clean up the migrant crisis. Merkel is famous for being the EU leader, the Chancellor of Germany, and the EU leader who allowed a huge migrant influx into Europe. She basically said, everybody come on in. And Alexander Mercouris Alexander Mercouris will explain to us what's going on in Germany. But I want to preface it by saying, Alexander, that Trump also just tweeted this about what's going on in Germany. The people of Germany are turning against their leadership as migration is rocking the already tenuous Berlin coalition. Crime in Germany is way up. Big mistake made all over Europe in allowing millions of people in who have strongly and violently changed their culture. And he followed it up, Alexander, with one more sentence, one more tweet. We don't want what is happening with immigration in Europe to happen with us. And Trump is obviously making reference to the child migrant crisis that they're trying to attack Trump with, which is something that started from Obama, but that's a whole nother video. Alexander, a couple of minutes. Give us your take on what's going on and what we can expect.
Right, I think Angela Merkel is fast running out of space. She's now in a position where she has seriously antagonized the Christian Social Union, which is the dominant party in Bavaria. It is the sister party of the CDU. The CDU is Merkel's own party. Now, Angela Merkel, in the elections which happened in Germany in September, found that her coalition of the CDU, the CSU, and the SPD had been severely weakened by the German people turning strongly against it and supporting this new party, the AfD, which is strongly opposed to this immigration policy. The CSU in Bavaria has felt under extreme pressure because of the rise of the AfD. There are elections due in Bavaria shortly. The CSU fears that it's going to lose its majority. It is now hardening its position. Horst Seehofer has for a long time had a difficult relationship with Merkel. So the CSU is now making it very clear that they want to see the policy, the immigration policy, the migrant policy that Merkel has supported changed. Merkel's problem is that if she changes that policy, then her other coalition partner, the SPD, which not only supports the policy, but if anything wants to go further with it, is also going to be antagonized. So it is very difficult to see how she can keep all these various pieces together and keep going as Chancellor. My assessment, and I've made it very clear, I said it many times on the Duran, is that she should have gone after the election. It was a mistake for her to stay. The coalition that she's put together since then is a coalition put together with sellotape, and it really doesn't look very viable. And the faster it is unraveled and that Merkel goes, the better it will be for Germany, so that it can move forward with a new leader to face the many problems that Merkel has left behind her.
Two quick questions, and we'll do a video and we'll further analyze the repercussions of what may be going on in a pending Merkel resignation. But two quick questions, Alexander. If Merkel resigns, or if she's forced out with what's going on in Germany, what does this mean for the EU? And number two, what would it mean for Trump and his immigration woes?
Well, I think if Merkel resigns, the first thing that's most likely to happen in Germany is a new election. I don't think it is a situation in Germany where one can actually see a new chancellor from the CDU, it would have to be from the CDU, simply taking over and continuing the same coalition. I think this coalition just has run out of road, actually. So there would be a new election in Germany. And all the odds suggest, all the opinion polls suggest, that we would, in that case, see a further rise in support for the AfD on the right, and conceivably also from the Linkspartei on the left, both of which are now considered in Germany to be anti-EU or at least anti-Euro parties. Germany is central to the EU. It is, in fact, the keystone of the whole EU structure. Without Germany, the EU simply isn't viable. The Eurozone isn't viable. If there is a shift in Germany, the whole EU changes, or falls into crisis. This is far bigger than what happened in Italy a few weeks ago. So that's what happens in Germany. In general, overall, one would have to say that this thing that is sometimes, I think, mischaracterized as this so-called populist tide, what that really means is the sentiments of ordinary people, which the elites of Europe and of the United States have been disregarding, which we saw with Donald Trump's victory. With Brexit, I think it will start to look unstoppable, and we will start to see a fundamental shift in the entire liberal order that we have been looking at up to now.
Do you think Trump is going to gain any political capital from this?
Unquestionably. First of all, his position in the US has been looking much stronger. But his weakest point, the person who he has the greatest difficulty with internationally, is Angela Merkel, who continues to be, for him and for many people, the standard bearer of the liberal policies associated with Donald Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama. At the time of Trump's election, there were even some people who were promoting Merkel as a rival to Trump, as the leader of the free world. If Merkel goes, his major adversary internationally goes, and he is left basically as the person in charge.
One final question, Alexander, if you could answer this very quickly before we go. What would this mean for Russia and Putin?
Well, I think the very first thing to say is that the person who has held together the EU on an anti-Russian trajectory since the 2014 Ukrainian crisis, and who has been the key person in pushing the sanctions against Russia, has been Angela Merkel. It is, again, very difficult to see anybody else within Germany pursuing that policy further. The SPD, Merkel's left-wing coalition partner, is known to favor a rapprochement with Russia. So does Seehofer and the CSU in Bavaria. They are not happy with the sanctions policy. So it is very likely that if Merkel goes, or rather I should say, because I think she will go very soon, when Merkel goes, we will start to see this anti-Russian policy that Germany has been following, which is looking increasingly discredited and out of date as Donald Trump turns against it, as more European electorates in Italy and elsewhere turn against it. I think this policy will finally fail.
Alexander, Mercurius editor-in-chief of the Duran, thank you for a quick but expert analysis on what's going on in Germany. We await and see what's going to happen to Angela Merkel. And whatever does happen, if she resigns or if she leaves as chancellor, it will be, I think, a geopolitical earthquake, a big shift.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to do a proper video of this, a proper analysis very, very soon on what's going on in Germany. This story is developing, and this will be a big, big development, which we will cover fully. Guys, if you like this quick breaking news, Skype to Skype breaking news, click the subscribe button down below. Also click the notifications bell to get notifications, and go to the Duran shop, pick up a shirt, help the Duran. Alexander Mercurius, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Take care, everybody.